When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
You're bringing the best smart TV experience to your home. Find them at all great retailers or learn more at tclusa.com.
TCL Broadcast Studios. It's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Take off your headphones. The danger is it's not spontaneous now. That's the problem. Are we on? Are we on now?
We're on now.
I was wondering why you were saying that.
We're on now.
Yeah.
We're on now.
We're good.
What a field they have at the Memorial.
Well, Jack always, you don't want Jack on your bad side.
No.
Jack is still the king.
I mean, it's everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Dustin, Bubba, Spieth, McIlroy.
Jack pays him a nice hunk of money, too, and they like the golf course and all those things.
You know who else is playing? Lucas Glover, and he better play well or that bat bleep crazy woman of his will beat him up with a frying pan.
Well, you think he's getting, probably not at Jack's tournament, but when he's at the Shinnecock can't be as bad as Bethpage. We won't get the real blue-collar people out there screaming and hollering. It's too bad, Lucas. Too bad it's not at Bethpage this year.
Oh.
They would give poor Lucas a hard time.
Oh, boy.
But look out for your wife, Lucas.
Yeah.
They were telling Monty when I was there what a nice chest he had.
Yeah.
Nice boobs, Monty. Then they were counting Sergio's waggles, the whole thing. My Caps won. I'm very happy. I'm rooting for the Caps. I want that team that's been in business for all those years. That was their first ever victory in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Ever?
I think they got swept the one time they were in there 20 years ago.
How in the hell did Ovechkin score on that angle? I was watching, and I said, "Oh, he's waiting for the puck, but he's too deep. He's too close to the line." And somehow he fired that thing off so fast, and boom, it went in off the goalie.
Holtby stood on his head, though, there at the end. So
I want Vegas to win just because of the oddity of the story. Mm-hmm. If the Caps win, my heart won't be broken, and I will say this. If the Caps win, Ovechkin should receive a great deal of the credit.
Yes.
He's carrying him on his back.
And you know what I like about the NHL? They give an award for the playoffs, not the Stanley Cup Finals. Like baseball gives an ALCS MVP and then a World Series MVP. You should do it for the playoffs, and they give a winner of the most valuable player of the
over the length of the playoffs.
Of the whole playoff run. Yes, it's always a guy from a winning team,
right?
But
which only stands to reason.
That's the way they should do it. It's not. It doesn't have to be, but I would imagine there's a case or two when it wasn't, but not too often.
Now that you see it, and you were experiencing great weather, can you imagine the excitement a long playoff run would bring to your city? It just would be fascinating. We had a long playoff run here in 2003.
2003.
They got to the conference finals.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
and,
it was great.
It was the first time around. But you know what? It's been so long now, it would be like the first time around.
That's 15 years ago.
The Twins' 87 was the first time around, even though it wasn't. 65, it wasn't a playoff run. You finish the season, and 3 days later, you're playing the World Series. So there's not a playoff run. But, yeah, it would be crazy. And the bar owners would certainly appreciate it, even though the Wild would be trying to steal all the money by having their outdoor party. So,
Speaking of the Twins,
yes.
not much of a ball club.
Well, that little 9-0 deficit that Fernando Romero, who had been really good, he came out and walked the first guy on 4 pitches, and you said, you're playing for a team here that hasn't been able to score any runs. They're playing terrible. Kid, you don't want to come out and walk the first. And they just went down 1-2-3 in the top of the inning. You don't want to come out and walk the first guy. And he was terrible. He was, and Bert, to his credit, Dick was talking this and that, and how hard Romero threw and all that, and Blyleven said, if it's right in the middle of the plate, it doesn't make any difference. Next pitch, Romero threw another fastball right in the middle of the plate, and some guy just rocketed it. He had no location at all, just throwing it in the middle of the plate. So it's not good. They're 21 or 22-29 now, 51 games into the season. And their starting pitching's better than it's been in a long time.
Yep.
But it's
not a great deal of hope for Buxton, who's now on the 10-day DL.
Yes, they're trying to frame this as though it's martyrdom, and he was out there battling, and the reason he couldn't get any hits is because he had a sore foot, which is fine. But the other thing is, did you see the Santana news? No. He shut him down again, too.
Yeah, I did.
That finger, they might as well amputate that damn thing.
That was a lousy... That surgery was in February.
Yes. But,
now his hand's swollen. So what? Pitch.
Well, if that's the finger that you use for your slider, and your slider is your best pitch, and it's all swollen up, it's probably not good. Probably not good. But... I don't know. You sound a little like Gil, man.
I find myself
these guys to tough it out.
I find myself agreeing with him more and more.
But you want them to tough it up. If they were hockey, if it was a hockey player, he'd be pitching. Huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
You see some of the hits these guys take, and they're back on the ice in the next shift. Mm-hmm. They can hardly get back to the bench.
Vegas got away with one. Washington got away with one 2 nights earlier when Tom Wilson ran the guy over in the middle of the ice, but that hit they took on the commie because Nutsov was not good. Mm-hmm. I don't know my Russian history that well, but didn't they have a guy who pretty much ran the place named Kuznetsov there for many years? Wasn't
Hockey
he?
Or the country?
The country. Wasn't
That's not,
Khrushchev
that name's not ringing a bell.
I think he did.
No, Nikita Khrushchev. You know what he was? He was the mayor of Moscow.
Before he became the boss. Yeah, he was a good guy. He was what we loved about Russia because he was everything. We were pounding his shoe on the table at the UN.
He was as close as Iowa, right?
He was down there at the farm family visiting Iowa.
Damn near in Fulda.
Yeah,
that lunch. Commie was damn near in Fulda.
Having lunch with the Mr. and Mrs. Swedes down there, Norwegians down there in Iowa. Yeah.
And ended up being, by the way, terribly impressed with American farming efficiency compared to the
well, it was better than following the horse behind the plow.
Do we know why Jack's wife's on and not Jack? Look at they're interviewing Barbara.
Well,
is
probably
Jack
because probably because she loves the attention. Mm-hmm. You know what? Greatest golfer of all time. Mm-hmm. Been married 60 years. Henpecked. This broad has been on his ass for 60 years. She is a pain in the ass.
Kevin?
Yes.
You're on the air.
Yes, you guys were talking about that Santana going back to on the DL. I'm kind of surprised by that because at the time the surgery was over, wasn't it ruled as successful?
yeah,
they're all called successful, aren't they?
It was successful. I think you're right. We should get a retraction from the doctor and say I screwed it up.
Yeah.
Yes. If it had been unsuccessful, they would have had to amputate it at the elbow, probably.
Just one time, I'd like to have him come out and say, we didn't do too good.
You know,
we didn't do too good.
It was surgery, okay, and we're hopeful. Yeah. It might have worked out, you know.
Or how about they just say, you know what, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. That's
all right,
good.
Thank you.
That's a very good point. In fact, I think I'll go back and look in the archives to make sure we said that he had successful surgery. Because it was just a little embridement, right? Isn't that what we call it?
They said he was going to be back before May 1st.
May 1st, yeah. Yeah, now it's pretty much not going to ever pitch again.
Yeah, well, you'll never find that in hockey. Who do you like tonight in Cleveland and Golden State?
Oh, a huge number. Golden State, 12.5-point favorite.
Vegas does not like the Cavs, do
Cavs'
they?
chances. They do not like the Cavs' chances. But, there's always the possibility that Golden State's not making their threes, and then it could be a good ball game. Kevin Love going to play. He missed several games. That'll help him because he can shoot.
Okay, I got a question for you. Being the student of the game tonight.
Yes.
You're always harping on the threes. Let me ask you something. Is it become a game of threes?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hell
Are
yes.
any teams do any teams not feature the three?
Yes, the Timberwolves.
Okay.
They
no,
shoot.
by design, I mean.
No, well, because they don't have any three. Well, part of it is by design. Thibodeau's offense doesn't feature that, but they also don't have shooters. Their best 3-point shooter is their center.
Okay, if you didn't feature threes, what game are you focusing? What would be your game?
Yeah,
The twos.
yeah.
Well, because free throws are only one, right? And you can't just randomly shoot
I know
those.
that.
Right, so I'm going with the twos. And I don't even know.
I have a somewhat serious question because I'm leading up to a point.
It used to be the
one.
The mid-range jumper. It's just a 17-footer and run some stuff.
A game of twos.
Try to get it in.
All right, here's my question.
Yeah.
What if a team put itself together in such a way to never worry about shooting a three, and they developed a more inside game? Would they have success?
Yeah, if they were really, really good at
some
it.
modern day Kareem doing the sky hook and the whole deal.
But
Would
you
they
would,
have
you
success?
would have to do. This team could do it if they could defend.
Yeah.
But they give up too many threes because they don't guard them.
Okay.
And they give up too many of them. I think you can win, but you got to be really good defensively.
What about the stall? How long can we stall?
You know what? The stall has kind of went out with the 24-second clock in 1954.
It kind of limits your stall time, huh?
Yeah,
you got to do the stall play a whole bunch of times.
NCAA, we could still stall, 30. Into the late 80s before we put in a shot clock.
Oh, it didn't exist then? Wow, I didn't know.
When did the
Smith
shot
used
clock?
to run the four
That's
corners.
true, the four corners.
When did the shot clock come to the NBA?
1954 or 5, because the Fort Wayne Pistons, I believe it was, held the ball against George Mikan.
Really?
And they played a 20-15 game, something like that.
And they figured they're not going to sell any
against the
tickets
Lakers.
for
They
that.
said this isn't.
Can you imagine in this modern day trying to sell a game when the stall could be when they just pass the ball around?
Well, hell, Jock sold out the X for a lot of years with the stall.
The trap or the stall?
trap.
Yeah.
With this, trying to get 2. If we can get 2 tonight, we'll win.
Right.
So, but no, I don't think it would work too well. But I've become really anti-3 because it just there's no difference to the game anymore. It's just okay. Drive it in, kick it out. Somebody take a 3. Throw it in the corner. Somebody take a 3.
Okay, so
It's all analytic based, because if you make 30% of your threes, that means you got to make 50-some% of your twos.
okay, it would be charitable to even call me a casual NBA
Yes.
fan. Okay, but in the event I would tune this in, what am I looking for? Which team's going to shoot the threes the most? Apparently, if it's come to that.
Rook, why don't you take this
Well,
one?
no, Cleveland,
if
Cleveland shoots some, but
Help
not
me, Rook.
like that. You're looking for the greatest player that ever lived, LeBron. He'll
Yeah.
be on the court, and you're looking
For Curry,
for Curry and Klay Thompson, Michael Thompson's kid,
Durant.
one of the great shooters ever. Kevin Durant, Joe, is almost 7 feet, and he plays like a guard. These are different. Just like hockey has different creatures now, so does basketball. You're not supposed to have 6'11" guards, but
does that suggest that they're nimble?
Oh yeah, he's very nimble.
Yeah.
He's very, but he's also he was one of the first pro guys we heard about setting up the shadow Twitter account to answer his critics with, and now the guy in Philadelphia is taking it to an extreme.
Virtually all the youth in my circle, all the youth are complete basketball freaks.
They're
good players.
Joe, there's something really strange. It's star-driven society because, as I said last year, the NBA Finals couldn't have been duller. They've been better this year, but they couldn't have been worse. And once they ended, all we read about and heard about on ESPN for a month was who was going to go where and who was going to get Kyrie and who was going to get this guy. They have, because there's only 5 of them out there, they have great identity.
I think the youth.
They have identity.
I think the youth I'm talking about have fathers who took one look at hockey and said, "No bleeping way."
Well, that's if you're a parent. Mm-hmm. There's no better idea than to keep your kid away from hockey because
it's terribly expensive.
Occupies your entire life.
And you got to get up at 4 in the morning.
I took the 7-year-old to the hockey game a couple of weeks ago. No problem, except once you get there, we got to go through 15 minutes to get them ready for the damn game. We got to tie this up and tie that up.
Full-time,
basketball, put on a jock strap and go out and shoot a ball.
Don't forget your shorts, too.
Right.
Right. You can run out there like, hey,
I
Jim,
was outside the other
Jim,
day.
hang on.
They don't need that much safety equipment. Nets over their head and everything tied together.
I was outside the other night only in my drawers.
Right. Were you grilling with Kenny?
No.
I've been known to take the garbage out at
This was
11 at night in the boxers.
I cracked the window. It was the night
Always the boxers, though. Never the
please,
briefs.
please.
No, I had boxers on.
Yeah.
I cracked the window for the white noise.
Yeah.
Because with the rain and the thunder. And then there was a pop, 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 pop. And I thought, what the hell is that noise?
Another dead fox.
No, I got up and looked. And I thought it was rain hitting the plastic cover of a drain in the ground. And I thought, I can make this part of my white noise. I won't let this bother me.
Yep. You only get one chance to go to sleep.
I got up and I said, the hell with it. I got an umbrella. And I put on my loafers and my drawers.
God, I wish I was driving by at that point.
I'm really outside. It's a Frisbee. Some kid left a Frisbee
out there
under the window. And it was going. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why didn't you shut the window?
Wanted the white noise.
I did. And I'd still heard it. And then I thought, I'm getting rid of this.
And even when he put it away in the garage, he could still hear it.
I had to go out and check the skimmer yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem to be flowing like it's supposed to. They had these airplanes.
Oh, the whirlybirds.
Whirlybirds stuffed in that skimmer. I had to get.
They had it. You mean nature had it?
Nature had it.
Yeah.
I had to get down and pull that crap out.
That's that.
And I couldn't get up. Damn near to push because there's nothing around.
Nothing to grab
There's
onto.
nothing around it. I damn near had to jump in the pool with my clothes on and swim out to get out. Because usually I get down on my knees.
Well,
but this
you know
I had
what?
to be
Isn't
down
it getting
there.
harder to get up?
Oh hell yeah!
I have to roll on my spine.
you know-
and get a spring on it.
You know you're getting old when you have to think of your plan to get back up. You're like, what am I going to do here? You know, just get
Wait
up.
a minute. I can't clean this area. There's no way I can get back up.
And Pat, Rookie and I showed you the video of the guy on how to take off the pool cover, the proper pool
Yeah,
maintenance.
remember that guy jumping off the
the guy with the ladder.
Yeah.
Captain America?
I've seen more of those whirlybirds. I cut down my silver maple and they're still all over the place. I don't know where it's coming from.
Sports Talk will be back shortly, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business. And nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal in Your Money Now.
Hi, Joe. Kind of a rough day in the stock market today. Renewed concerns about a global trade war sent stocks to a lower close, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping 251 points to 24,415. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 20 points, and the S&P 500 lost 18. We do have a little bit of good news for prospective home buyers as mortgage rates retreated this week after hitting their highest level in more than 7 years last week. Mortgage giant Freddie Mac says the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage now averages 4.56%. That's down from 4.66% a week ago, and it was the biggest weekly move since the end of April. Swiss chocolate maker Barry Callebaut is petitioning the Food and Drug Administration for permission to sell its newly created Ruby chocolate in the U.S. Since the chocolate does not fit in the FDA's current definition of chocolate, the company can't sell it here in the States. It's already called chocolate overseas, and Nestle sells Ruby chocolate Kit Kats in several countries, including Japan and Australia. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. Welcome back, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. We've got a lot of traffic here to talk about. This one sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. It was an earlier wreck, eastbound 94 at Pryor. Blocked for quite a while, so traffic is jamming in downtown Minneapolis. That crash now on the right shoulder. And now we have a fresh one right at Cedar, or just past Cedar in downtown Minneapolis. The left lane blocked, eastbound 94 there. So plan for 25-30 minutes between the downtowns. Westbound between at 15. Napa Auto Parts has the expertise and parts you need to keep your car on the road no matter how many miles it has. Bound 36 at Cleveland, Trooper Tow and First Unit on the scene there. You'll roll slow over past Dale anyway. Westbound 694 running 15 minutes, 35W to 100. And northbound 35E backing it down at West 7th. That's due to a wreck at or near Victoria. And I've got to say, my God almighty, do I sound sexy today. Jeez. Wow. Unbelievable.
You know what I had to admit to these boys yesterday, Johnny Height?
What?
I'd never heard the song Wonderwall, nor had I heard of the group that sang it.
You're not missing much.
Okay.
Wrong. That's a good tune.
Oasis, apparently. Well
that's
known
correct.
to
Yes.
certain people.
Very well known.
Liam and Noel Gallagher
hate each other. I found
but
that
these
out.
characters think they're going to get him to come here and sing Wonderwall.
I came up with the plan.
Yeah.
This is actually
We
good.
put one guy at one end of the stadium and the other guy at the other end of the stadium and let her go.
There you go.
I saw Oasis live, Johnny.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
My kid I used to have dragged me to.
Why not have a full-on festival of bands where brothers hate each other?
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have them, the Kinks. Who else, Johnny?
The Everly Brothers hated each other, but one's dead now.
CCR, right?
Yep, one's dead there, too. Though.
Oh, bummer.
Creedence didn't have brothers in it, did it?
Yeah, it had Tom and John Fogerty.
John, yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
And they hated each other.
Johnny,
Yes.
I was asking, what group really successful, and I mean rock and rollers, made it from start to finish being buddies? How many of them ever actually made it?
There must be.
Sam and Soul Singer. Sam and Dave. Did they make it?
They hated each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they hated each other from day one. Pretty much.
U2's on that path, I think.
Yeah.
What about the Stones?
Well, they've had some fights.
Even if they do like each other for publicity, they're going to tell you they don't.
And two of the
for
songs,
marketing purposes.
two of the songs from Keith Richards' first solo album, basically
about
just,
Mick, yeah.
yeah, it's just take him. To
Plus,
class.
he accused him of having a small Peter, right?
Yeah.
He did do that. He did do that in his book.
Well,
Yes.
it does. It's tiny. It's diminutive.
Oh, really?
Johnny, what about the Young Brothers in AC/DC? Do
Beach
they
Brothers, they didn't work out, did they?
I was talking, please.
What
What
about
about
the traffic guy? Shut up.
Well, nothing
I
changed
can't
while I
say
was
if you
gone.
want
Go ahead.
No, Kenny,
I think
you
they
can't.
got along fine, Kenny. As far as I know, the Young Brothers.
How about REM?
Yeah, I don't know. They all just
Well,
accept
I-
Michael Stipe for being a goofball.
I
think.
mentioned Hall and Oates yesterday when Pat brought this
They've
up.
had some fights.
Okay.
They've not done well.
Kenny,
all
did the
time.
replacements hate each other?
Not now. I mean, it's only Tom and
Well, that's true.
Paul.
Nobody left, huh?
Yeah, but for a while, it was really tense for that last album when Paul was re-recording the drum tracks overnight when Chris went home for the day.
What do you think? Do you think Height Senior and Height Junior are going to make it to the finish here? They're going to end up being
There'll probably be a fight in that one.
They're
Yeah.
going to end up having creative differences.
Certainly doesn't apply to Pink Floyd. They didn't. They ended up Roger Waters and Gilmore are enemies, aren't they?
They're not fond of each other. That's
It's
true.
unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah, it's you'd have to think. I think a while. You could find some.
what
The only
about
one I
us?
can come up with is U2.
Doobie Brothers?
No. Hell, they've had 15 different members.
No, they still got Tom Johnson, Pat Simmons. They're two guys that form the band.
They don't
basically.
like each other.
We can
They-
turn
they
this.
do too.
Yeah, they don't like
We can turn this inward, and I have to admit I hate all of you guys.
Yeah.
more and more every day.
But that just because we're members of society in general, right? Not because you work with us.
You're no more special than anybody else.
I think Butch Cassidy and Sundance didn't get along with B.J. Thomas.
They had a little trouble with Catherine Ross there. They had a little competition.
Surprised you withheld during the music talk as long as you did.
Well, yeah. Well, B.J. Thomas, Raindrops Keep Falling with Butch and stretching it out too far.
That was a menage a trois.
This newsman has the easiest job in the world.
What do you got, Eddie?
No phone calls today. Let's just let him get through the news.
You know what, though? After that last Rook joke, I probably should have jumped in about a minute sooner.
Yeah, right. One too many.
Go get him, Johnny.
It's 82 degrees. Twins back home tonight playing the Cleveland Indians, kick off a 4-game series. Jake Odorizzi goes for the Twins. Righty Shane Bieber makes his major league debut for Cleveland.
He's got very good minor league numbers, and I don't think he's any relation to Bieber. He's
a pop star. Lavelle just tweeted a photo. Joe Mauer is taking BP on the field.
Wow. That's a baseball activity.
Yeah, it is baseball. He's participating in baseball activities. Right. I'd like to find the first guy to say that. Get him in a headlock, and punch him right in the
Nuggies. Give him some nuggies.
Punch him right in the eye.
If you are keeping track, Detroit did win today. They beat the Angels.
They're hot.
The Twins lose. The Twins could be 2 behind Detroit in 3rd place in the Central. So
the Rally Goose.
Yes, the Rally Goose. News notes from today. Sears is closing another 72 stores as sales continue to shrink and losses grow. The Sears
another scalp for Amazon.
Locally here, the Sears store at Shingle Creek Crossing in Brooklyn Center, site of the former Brookdale Mall, is on the list of stores that'll close. Also on the list, 2 stores in Duluth, the Sears at Miller Hill Mall and the Kmart on Central Avenue. The stores will close in September. Liquidation sales will begin as soon as June 14th, according to the company. The retailer, which operates Kmart and Sears stores, says it's identified about 100 stores that are no longer turning a profit. The majority of those will be closed. After this round of closures, the company will have about 800 stores, down from about 1,000 at the
One
end
at the state capitol still open?
I hope so. I go there all the time.
They still have the license place where they got the longest line in the history of mankind.
Right.
I was in the Sears at Mall of America last week, and my goodness, was it deserted. There's no aisles left, and there's very few tools left in there. It's really sad.
Kenny, I went to the Radio Row 2 or 3 times. I walked through that Sears building, and with the Super Bowl going on, there's a very modest business.
Is it one floor or is it multiple?
No, it's got the one corner.
I only go to the tool department, and it's just depressing.
Kenny, what was the bike they sold? The motorcycle. It was the Czechoslovakian. What am I thinking?
Boy,
Sears.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Back in the 60s.
What poor business practices they have, though. These people literally invented the mail order catalog. Yeah. They should have stomped Amazon before Amazon even thought about going into business.
I'm on it.
Google, what motorcycle did Sears sell? I wanted that motorcycle more than anything in life.
How can they lose at the business they created? They also sold snowmobiles, Such. Polaris made snowmobiles for Sears.
I'm proud to say my winter jacket is a Sears winter jacket. Because I was walking through there and I was freezing to death, and I bought one when I was out there for the fair.
Can't do that anymore.
Radio Row.
I'm seeing a 1965 Allstate SGS 250 Twingle. Twingle.
It was Allstate, but it was Puch. I think it was Puch, Puch.
That could be. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, they had the the scooters, the
Wasn't
mini
it Puch?
mopeds.
Puch, maybe? I don't know how you say it.
Maybe you should get one with a sidecar and
Did you call it
tour.
Did you say it was a Twingle?
That's what it's saying in quote.
That'd be a great nickname for Such, wouldn't it?
Hey, Twingle. How you doing, Twingle?
You know our guy Sharkman, right? Linneman?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
He tweeted out the other day he's going home in Toronto, walks by a Vespa store and bought a Vespa.
They didn't have to walk. Yeah.
Speaking of
business, a guy takes care of himself first. That's what we like.
He did have my favorite tweet. I tweeted out a photo of the Town Ball Classic on Saturday. Your Lake Henry fans were beer in hand at 9:05 in the morning, and his reply was Stearns County. It was great.
Speaking of business, one of America's oldest remaining automakers might be on the chopping block. Sergio Marchionne will hold an investors meeting in Italy tomorrow.
Pat, here goes our fortune.
In Bellacco, Italy, where the CEO will possibly kill one of the corporation's most historic brands. That brand would be Chrysler.
Oh, my God.
In addition, Marchionne could detail plans to pull Fiat out of the United States.
Is that going to be good for our stock?
According to Automotive
We
News.
were up a couple months ago.
Should have got out.
Those are good times, weren't they? Those are good times.
$5,000 was worth $2.
Apparently, FCA's big strategic pivot would free up money to invest more into Jeep, which is already the corporation's most profitable division. Among the new products reportedly on the way, there would be an even smaller SUV below the Renegade and the luxurious Grand Wagoneer for challenging the upper end of that car segment.
This is our company, though, right? This is our company. Did you see? Any of you guys see the documentary on the Fiat guy?
No, I did. At your suggestion.
He was a ladies' man. That guy.
Is it on Netflix?
He was Kenny, the beer commercial, the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah,
was this guy?
Yeah, based on him, sort of.
Oh.
He arrived in the Mediterranean every summer by jumping out of a helicopter.
Who doesn't?
What a show off.
What's his name?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, the documentary is called, it's his name.
Well,
Jim.
It's not Jim.
Bill.
we can find it on Wiki. We can find it on Wiki.
Stephen with a PH.
Murgatroyd.
Gil. Yeah, Gil.
Gianni Agnelli, Agnelli. Agnelli is the name of the documentary about the guy who was the head of Fiat.
Handsome Italian brute. Silver hair.
A note, speaking of music, Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar is featured in the new Maroon 5 video. Nation's first Somali-American legislator has a cameo in the video, Women Like You.
How precious is that?
Along with a lot of other gals.
That's fantastic.
Among the folks on the video, J-Lo, Ellen DeGeneres, Sarah Silverman, Haddish. I don't know who Haddish is.
Don't know who Haddish is.
Millie Bobby Brown, Camila Cabello.
Don't know who Millie Bobby Brown is.
Isn't that the daughter
Whitney
of,
and Bobby Brown?
Oh, okay.
And many others. So,
well, how come she got a middle name of Bobby? She's not a guy. She's a girl.
Could have been Roberta.
Bobby Brown will break it down.
Bobbi, Bobby.
For those of you that missed it on GL today, Joe promoted the Good Deeds channel he would like to start. That was his $1 million idea, right? Right, Joe?
Yeah, only to discover it's already been done.
It sounds very, very square.
Well, I have another story you can add to it, Joe.
The Do-Gooder channel?
It's already out there.
There's already apparently a fella called in and said there's a YouTube channel with that sort of thing that goes on. But here's a story,
How
Joe.
many times have you come up with $1 million idea that's already out there?
Our record is intact.
We just need to hit one, and we can't hit any.
If you
you and Rook are the Richard Ricey and Joe Miller of radio.
And then look what
Throw
he does.
Bud in there, too, with his magnetic signs.
I'm not far behind with the magnetic signs.
And look what he did to us, Patrick. We invented the Krabby Coffee
he's
Shop,
trying
and
to
he
steal it.
took it over.
Well, I'm not trying to steal it. It's thoroughly been taken.
It's a done deal.
Well, maybe you'll act on it a little more rapidly.
I'm thinking of it as a novel.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I want to cut, you jerk.
All right.
A bunch of trees that were talking to each other went into the Krabby Coffee Shop. And
What?
What the hell?
one of his novels, he had the trees
No.
like robbed banks. and went to the bars.
You're
and
totally wrong.
Took
Like
armored,
Wizard have as many
like Wizard of Oz?
armored cars.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Wizard of
What did they
Oz.
do again?
I thought it was a screenplay called Trees, and the trees communicated with each other and sought revenge against evil man.
Wow.
Cow.
And the big kingpin tree was like this.
That one-
Hey, what do you need today? I got what do you got?
Hey, what a
Come on up here and
You
kiss
know-
the bark.
You know,
Suchi
that
Boy.
would have been a good Mel Jazz matinee in black and white in the 1950s.
Suchi Boy, what I used to do is I would only buy LSD after it had been tested by other people. That was my policy.
Well,
Hey, John, did you
anyway,
ever see? Did you ever see the movie where these great big blocks of stuff was a horror movie of the 50s, and they just started moving around. It was like
you guys want to hear this?
Big cement blocks, and they just started.
I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah.
You guys want to hear the opening 2 scenes?
Yeah, sure.
I'm serious. I was amazed this didn't get purchased. You open. All you see is a guy's snowshoes tromping through the snow, and you can hear him breathing heavily. And in the distance, you can see Lake Superior. He finally makes it to this really nifty log cabin, and he goes in, and he takes off all his stuff. But everything in there is wood. There's little wooden toy soldiers, and there's old skis. And he starts a fire, of course. Then he goes in the kitchen, and the fire starts spitting sparks.
Right.
And the place burns down, and he dies. Cut to Manhattan, rainstorm. This chick with the giant cans gets picked up. Cans in a taxi,
right in the description.
Giant cans. She gets picked up by the taxi, goes to her apartment, only to see her plants had wilted. She gets a call from the forest ranger in Minnesota.
Keep going. I'm with you.
Okay.
At this point, I've got the remote control in my hand, and I'm already 40 channels away.
See, I think you could have changed the scene a little bit.
So what? And
then the forest ranger
relative died?
Turned out that's her father. He was doing these experiments, and the only guy who believed in him was the forest ranger who's calling the chick, and she has to fly out to Minnesota, and she's a successful actress on Broadway. And they become a love interest, and then it just gets better from there.
I think they still should have robbed banks, put the Groucho glasses on and say, hey, give me all the money.
So what type of communications did the trees use?
They could talk. Is
it sign language?
No, you can get them to do that.
You wrote the screenplay. What was the method?
Then you
I hope there's no big news out there, Johnny.
Oh, there's nothing.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
They communicated through their root structure, okay?
Through their root structure.
Oh, intertwining roots. That's kind of sexy.
Don't grab me there.
It's kind of like Morse code.
Cut to Toronto, a NASA place where these scientists are watching computer screens where they're noting that this is happening, and it all corroborates the work of the dead guy in the cabin from the opening scene, and then the trees kill some construction workers on a ski slope.
When did you stop?
Is there a car chase?
I stopped when I realized it was so bleeping horrible that I couldn't. No, I got over the year nuts hump though.
Yes, you did.
It didn't. I thought staying alone the environmentalists would have paid $100 million for it.
And in the end, there's a car chase. Trees are driving this wooden car.
Like Barney Rubble's car.
Right, exactly. And they go down the hill and they stop at this diner, and they're looking around, and the one tree goes in. The diner guy comes in, and he sees that the tree's having relations with his wife in the back. He's like, what the hell?
He's throwing her the wood.
Yeah, right. And then it's fall, and all the trees die. So they pause for 6 months.
To be continued.
Right, to be continued.
Why
in
the
the
hell?
spring.
I should have given it to you to finish.
Yes, I could have done that.
In the spring.
Yeah, right.
Could have had a sequel then.
We could have Barry
could have been.
Barry could have been a consultant.
The talking tree from
tree
Duluth.
would do that.
We would have called it a tree quill.
Joe, what was the title of this brilliant documentary?
Trees.
One story, Jim.
Well, let's go back to.
Listen.
Let me go back to how this started. I have a good deed for Joe's good deeds.
That's how they started. Right.
An Idaho youth football team on their way home from winning a championship game stopped in Oregon to rescue 2 people who were trapped in an overturned car.
Wow.
The Boise Black Knights were traveling in 3 vans and an RV about 8:30 in the evening Monday after winning the Bay Area Spring Football League's Tournament of Champions when a car traveling in front of one of the vans overturned on southbound Interstate 95 in Oregon. Head coach Rudy Jackson said the players and coaches quickly jumped out of the vehicles to help the couple. A video recorded by team member Regan McGill shows the players pulling a man out of the car before pushing on the side of the vehicle to lift it up enough for a player to rescue a woman who was trapped inside the car.
Wow.
The coach said, "I'm more than proud. I'm at a loss for words. They got out of the car like they were supposed to do that. It's a great bunch of kids." McGill credited his coach's lessons with inspiring the team to do the right thing.
Don't you think any team would have done that?
Any group of trees traveling to a basketball, trees would have got out of there in CPR.
I bet they get a congratulatory call from this weenie down the street, too.
Which one?
Which
Phil
one?
Fleck.
PJ.
Oh, yeah. How proud he is.
You always got to turn it back to him.
Oh, yeah, I do.
You think he'll jump on that? The Flecker?
Oh yeah, Phil Flecker.
Maybe he'll recruit some of these guys, huh?
No, but he'll tell them how wonderful they are.
Well,
all right,
okay.
Johnny. That was a very newsy cast.
It was very light on news.
Yes.
Is it action-packed?
It's pretty dang good. I got to admit, I already talked to my friend Ray Ratto out in the Bay Area, and for a preview for the NBA Finals, and it's pretty good. He's one of the most hilarious guys in America. So we got that, and
he's got to be our age.
Younger, but early 60s, probably. Yeah. Early 60s. Yeah. And then. We got Derek checking in from the ballpark, see what's new. Who got hurt today? We'll find out what's going on with the Twins.
Who's hurling
other
tonight?
Matters. Who does have the pill? Odorizzi?
I think it is
Odorizzi, yes. And Justin Bieber's kid brother's pitching for the Cleveland Indians. So
somebody named Ancer, A-N-C-E-R, is leading the Memorial. I don't know who that is.
Never heard of him, but I agree with you. This is a very picturesque golf course here at Muirfield.
Nifty.
Yes. Nice little greens, too.
Are we in Columbus, Ohio?
Outside. Muirfield's 20 miles away or something like that, maybe even less. Yep. Tiger used to win there all the time.
ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis, 82.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring. After 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability, Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.